The Force is light and full of shadows. Before we dive in, check the link in the description if you want exclusive Timelines members-only videos you won't find on YouTube, all on our Patreon. The capital of the Republic. Streets packed with speeders, vendors, and the constant hum of a trillion lives intersecting. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka Tano walk through a crowded marketplace. 3 Jedi in robes, scanning the buildings, the alleys, the rooftops. They're hunting a sniper, Rako Hardim, bounty hunter, wanted for 17 assassinations across the mid-rim. Obi-Wan stops, looks up. There, 3rd level, southeast corner. Anakin follows his gaze, spots the glint of a rifle barrel. I see him. Anakin, you take the east side. Ahsoka, stay with the crowd. I'll flush him out. Anakin wants to argue. Something feels wrong. But Obi-Wan is already moving, climbing the fire escape with Force-enhanced jumps. Anakin runs east, scaling the building. Rooftops, durasteel and glass. He can see Obi-Wan across the gap. Moving into position, the sniper fires. Not at Anakin, at Obi-Wan. The shot catches him center mass. Obi-Wan stumbles, falls backward off the building. Anakin's heart stops. Obi-Wan plummets 3 stories into the alley below. Anakin lands hard on the opposite roof, sees the sniper fleeing. Every instinct screams to chase him. But Obi-Wan, he jumps down, hits the alley running. Ahsoka is already there, kneeling beside Obi-Wan's body. She's checking his neck for a pulse. Her hands are shaking. Ahsoka. She looks up. Her eyes are wet. She opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. Anakin drops to his knees, grabs Obi-Wan's shoulders. Master, stay with me. We'll get you to a medical center. Just hold on. No response. Obi-Wan's eyes are closed. His chest isn't moving. Anakin presses his hand to Obi-Wan's chest. Tries to feel for a heartbeat through the Force. Nothing. The grief hits like a physical blow. His master, his brother, the man who raised him, trained him, saved his life a dozen times. Gone. The pain is so intense it feels like something inside Anakin's mind fractures, like reality itself cracks. And then, memories, not his memories, someone else's, flooding through the crack like water through a broken dam. The Tusken camp, sand huts burning, lightsaber cutting through men, women, children. I killed them all. Clones marching through the halls, blue blaster bolts, Jedi falling, younglings hiding in the council chamber. Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? Mustafar, lava rivers, Padme crying, you're breaking my heart, his hand rising. Her throat constricting, her collapsing. The operating table, medical droids, the mask descending, the first mechanical breath. KHHHH, 23 years of that sound. The Death Star, Alderaan exploding, millions of voices crying out, then silence. Cloud City, I am your father. Luke falling, screaming. The Emperor's throne room, Luke convulsing under lightning. Father, please. The choice. Lifting Palpatine, throwing him down the shaft. The lightning burning through circuits, dying at last. All of it. Every moment. 23 years of Darth Vader's life compressed into seconds. Anakin gasps. Not grief anymore. Shock. Horror. Understanding. His hands are shaking, but his face goes completely still. Ashoka's voice breaks through. Master Anakin. I couldn't save him. Anakin doesn't respond immediately. He's reaching out with the Force. Not to check if Obi-Wan is dead. To check if he's alive. And there it is. Faint. Suppressed. Deliberately hidden. But unmistakable. Obi-Wan's Force signature. Right there. 10 feet away. Alive. Anakin's voice comes out flat. Too controlled. Wrong. No. He's not. Ahsoka blinks. What? But I checked his pulse. There's nothing. The Council is lying to us, Ahsoka. Anakin stands. His movements are precise, mechanical. This was staged. That's impossible. Why would they? Anakin looks at her. His eyes are different, ancient, like he's aged 40 years in 40 seconds. Because they're afraid. And when the Jedi are afraid, they lie, just like the Sith. Ahsoka stares at him. She doesn't understand. How could he possibly know this? Anakin reaches down, touches Obi-Wan's robes, feels the fabric. Underneath, something hard. Armor. Blaster-resistant plating. He stands, looks at the body, at Ahsoka, at the crowd gathering at the alley entrance. In Vader's memories, he sees this moment differently. He sees himself grieving, attending the funeral, hunting down Rocco Hardeen in rage, nearly killing him. The Council's manipulation working perfectly. He sees Palpatine exploiting it, whispering, "The Jedi don't trust you, Anakin. They use you, they manipulate you, just like they're doing now." And he sees where it leads. The path from this lie to Order 66, to the temple burning, to everything. Not this time. Anakin pulls out his comlink. "Temple security. This is General Skywalker. I need a medical team to my location. Jedi down in the Marketplace District. Coordinates attached. Full security lockdown. No one in or out until I say otherwise." Ahsoka. "Master, what are you?" "We're not going to the funeral, Ahsoka. We're going to intercept Obi-Wan before he gets to that prison." "Prison? What prison?" "The one where he's planning to infiltrate Moralo Eval's network, using Rocco Hardeen's identity, after facial reconstruction surgery and voice emulation." Ahsoka's face goes white. "How do you know that?" Anakin looks at her. For a moment she sees something terrifying in his eyes. Not anger, not grief, just cold, absolute certainty. "Because I've lived this before, in another life, and I remember everything." Chapter 2. The Interceptation. Coruscant Underworld. 3 levels below the surface. The kind of place where Republic credits spend freely, and questions don't get asked. A safe house. Small. 1 room. Reinforced door. Scrambled security frequencies. Inside, Rocco Hardeen counts his payment. 50,000 credits in unmarked chips. The down payment for shooting a Jedi. The rest will come when he meets his employer. The mysterious contractor who hired him for this particular job. Who provided the blaster-resistant armor specifications. Who knew exactly where Obi-Wan Kenobi would be. Hardeen doesn't ask questions. Professionals don't. He's packing the credits into a case when the door opens. Not picked, not forced, just opens. Like someone has the access code. Anakin Skywalker walks in, Ahsoka Tano behind him. Hardeen drops the case, goes for his blaster. Anakin raises one hand. The Force grips Hardeen's wrist. Twists. The blaster clatters to the floor. Before Hardeen can move, Anakin flicks his other hand. Hardeen's legs buckle. He drops to his knees, immobilized by the Force. Ahsoka stuns him. The blue bolt catches him in the chest. He slumps unconscious. Ahsoka, "Master, I don't understand. How did you find this place?" Anakin is already moving, pulling cable restraints from his belt, binding Hardeen's wrists and ankles. Vader's memories. "I know how this operation was supposed to work. Obi-Wan hired Hardeen through an intermediary, paid him to shoot using armor specifications that wouldn't penetrate his own blaster-resistant plating. Hardeen doesn't know who his employer is. He just knows the meeting location. And that's here. In 15 minutes we wait." Anakin drags Hardeen's unconscious body into the corner, out of sight from the door. Ahsoka watches him work. His movements are efficient, practiced, like he's done this 1,000 times. "Master, what happened in that alley? You said you've lived this before." Anakin doesn't look at her. He's checking the room. Windows blocked. One entrance. Good defensive position. "When I thought Obi-Wan was dead, something broke in my mind, and Vader's memories came through. All of them. 23 years in the suit, serving Palpatine, hunting Jedi, killing everyone." Ahsoka's voice is small. "Vader, me, in another timeline, the one where I fall to the dark side, where I become Palpatine's apprentice, where I help destroy the Jedi Order and hunt the survivors for decades." He finally looks at her. His eyes are clear, not yellow, not corrupted, just tired. "I remember burning the temple, Ahsoka. I remember leading the 501st through those halls. I remember the younglings. Anakin, I'm not going to do those things, not this time. But I need you to understand, the path starts here, with this lie. With the Council deciding that manipulating me is justified if it serves the mission. And it ends with me in a suit, unable to breathe on my own, serving a Sith Lord who murdered the woman I love. Padme? Yes. In the other timeline, I married her in secret. She got pregnant. I started having nightmares about her dying in childbirth. Palpatine, who is actually Darth Sidious, exploited those fears, promised me the power to save her. I believed him, turned to the dark side, and she died anyway, because of choices I made. Master, you're saying Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith Lord. I'm saying I remember 23 years of serving him as Darth Vader. I remember him grooming me since I was 9 years old. I remember him orchestrating the Clone Wars to gain emergency powers. I remember him activating Order 66, a protocol buried in every clone's inhibitor chip that forces them to kill their Jedi commanders. He looks at the door, and I remember that this deception, Obi-Wan faking his death, is one more step on the path to my fall, because it teaches me not to trust the Jedi. It isolates me. It makes Palpatine's whispers sound reasonable. Footsteps in the corridor outside. Anakin raises a hand. Silence. The door opens. Obi-Wan Kenobi walks in, still in his own face. The nanotechnology transformation hasn't happened yet. He sees Anakin and Ahsoka standing there. Freezes. Anakin, Ahsoka, you shouldn't be here. Anakin's voice is cold, flat. No, we shouldn't. But you made that impossible. Obi-Wan's hand moves toward his lightsaber. Not aggressive. Defensive. I don't understand. How did you? Don't. Anakin steps forward. Don't insult me by pretending. I know what you're planning. I know about the nanotechnology. I know about Moralo Eval's plot to kidnap Palpatine at the Festival of Light on Naboo. I know you're going to use Hardine's identity to infiltrate the network. And I know that Yoda and Mace ordered you not to tell me. Obi-Wan's face goes white. How could you possibly know that? Because I've lived this before. I've lived a future where the Jedi Council's arrogance and manipulation destroy everything. And it starts here. With this lie, Obi-Wan takes a breath. His hand drops from his lightsaber. Anakin, please. This mission is vital. Moralo Eval has assembled the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. Cad Bane, Duran, Jacoli. They're planning to kidnap the Chancellor, if we don't stop them. The Chancellor is Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord you've been hunting for 13 years. Silence. Obi-Wan stares at him. That's impossible. Is it? Think, Obi-Wan. The Clone Wars started the moment Palpatine became Chancellor. Count Dooku, Sidious's apprentice, leads the Separatists. The war has given Palpatine emergency powers that would have been unthinkable in peacetime. And somehow, despite the Jedi Order's best efforts, you can never locate the Sith Lord. Because he's been sitting in the Supreme Chancellor's office the entire time. Obi-Wan shakes his head. Even if that were true, and I'm not conceding that it is, how would you know? Anakin's voice is absolutely level. Because when you died in that alley, something broke in me. And I remembered the future. I remembered becoming Darth Vader. I remembered serving Palpatine for 23 years. I remembered him activating Order 66 and watching the clones turn on us. I remembered hunting you across the galaxy. I remembered everything. Is he? Ahsoka. I don't know. But he knew about this safe house. He knew about Hardeen. He knew about your mission. And he's different. Since the alley. Obi-Wan studies Anakin's face, looking for deception. For anything that would explain this. What he sees is worse than corruption. He sees weariness. Like Anakin has aged decades in the last hour. Anakin, even if you have some kind of future knowledge, the mission is still vital. We need to stop Moralo Eval. No. Anakin's voice cuts like a blade. You need to stop lying to me. He steps closer. Obi-Wan doesn't retreat, but his hand twitches toward his weapon. Anakin, you let me grieve. You let Ahsoka cry over your body. You let us believe you were dead. Not for an hour. Not for a day. You were going to let us suffer for weeks while you played spy games in a Republic prison. You were going to let me attend your funeral. You were going to let me stand there and say goodbye to my master, my brother, knowing the entire time it was theater. Obi-Wan's face shows pain. Anakin, and the worst part, you don't even see what's wrong with that. You think the mission justifies it. You think catching Moralo Aval is worth breaking the trust between master and apprentice. You think tactical success is more important than the bonds that hold us together. Anakin's voice drops to barely above a whisper. That's exactly what Palpatine thinks. That's exactly how the Sith operate. The ends justify the means. The mission justifies the manipulation. The greater good justifies the individual suffering. Obi-Wan, the Jedi are not the Sith. Then prove it. Stop using their tactics. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Obi-Wan looks at the floor. The Council ordered me not to tell you. They said your reaction needed to be genuine for the deception to work. That if you knew, you might inadvertently reveal it. To emotionally manipulate me. To use my grief as a tool. To protect the Republic. By doing exactly what the Sith would do. Obi-Wan has no answer for that. Anakin, I'm going to the Council now. You can come with me or you can run. But I'm not letting Palpatine win because the Jedi were too proud to admit they made a mistake. If he truly is Sidious, we need proof. Accusations aren't enough. I have proof. Order 66. It's programmed into every clone's inhibitor chip. Behavioral modification biochips implanted at stage 3 of embryonic development on Kamino. When activated, they force the clones to view all Jedi as traitors and execute them, without hesitation. Palpatine will activate them when he's ready to destroy the Order. Ahsoka, the chips, but those are supposed to prevent the clones from going rogue. That's what the Kaminoans think. That's what Sifo Dyas was told when he commissioned them. But after Dooku killed Sifo Dyas, he and Sidious retooled the chips, turned them into weapons. ARC Trooper 5s discovered the truth. Tried to warn us. Commander Fox killed him before he could. Obi-Wan's breathing quickens. 5s, he said something about a conspiracy. About the chips. We thought he was paranoid. Drugged. He wasn't. He was right. And we ignored him. Just like the Council is ignoring this. Anakin turns toward the door. Come on. We're going to the temple. All 3 of us. And we're going to have a conversation about what happens when Jedi start acting like Sith. Chapter 3. The Brothers' Confrontation. Jedi Temple. Obi-Wan's quarters. Not the Council chamber yet. Anakin insisted on privacy first. A chance for Obi-Wan to hear everything before they face Yoda and Mace. The 3 of them sit in Obi-Wan's meditation room. Simple space, floor cushions, soft lighting, no distractions. Anakin lays it all out, every detail from Vader's memories. Palpatine is Darth Sidious, has been since before the blockade of Naboo, murdered Darth Plagueis to take power, groomed Anakin since age 9. Orchestrated the Clone Wars using both sides. Sidious leads the Sith, Tyrannus leads the Separatists. The war is designed to grant Palpatine emergency powers and position the clones for betrayal. Order 66 is embedded in the inhibitor chips. Every clone from the original Kamino facility has one. When Palpatine gives the order, 3 million soldiers will turn on their Jedi commanders simultaneously across the galaxy. Most Jedi will die in the first minutes. Anakin will fall to the dark side. Palpatine will exploit his fear of losing Padme, promise him power to save her from dying in childbirth. Anakin will become Darth Vader, lead the 501st into the temple, kill the younglings, hunt the survivors, serve Palpatine for 23 years in a suit of armor, unable to breathe without mechanical support. The Republic will become the Empire. The Senate will dissolve. Palpatine will rule through fear and military might. Alderaan will be destroyed. Billions dead to prove the Death Star works. Luke and Leia, Anakin's children hidden from him, will lead the rebellion. Luke will redeem Vader. Vader will kill Palpatine and die. All of it. Every detail. Anakin speaks for 20 minutes without stopping. His voice never wavers, never shows emotion. Just recites facts from memories that don't belong to him. When he finishes, silence. Obi-Wan sits with his head in his hands. Ahsoka is pale, tears running down her face. Finally, Obi-Wan speaks. If this is true, why didn't you warn us before? Why wait until now? Because I didn't remember. The memories weren't there. They came when you died, when the grief opened something in my mind. That's when Vader's future flooded in. What I will become if I follow the path the Council is pushing me down, if I trust the wrong people, if I let Palpatine's manipulation work. Obi-Wan looks up. His eyes are red, The Council's deception wasn't malicious, Anakin. It was tactical. We needed the infiltration to be convincing. And that's exactly what Sidious will say when he activates Order 66. Anakin's voice is hard. It was necessary for the Empire. It was justified by the greater good. The Jedi have spent 1,000 years claiming moral superiority over the Sith. But when it matters, you use the same tactics. You lie. You manipulate. You sacrifice trust for tactical advantage. Ahsoka speaks quietly. Master Anakin is right. If the Council can lie to us about this, what else are they hiding? Obi-Wan stands, paces. Even if you're right about Palpatine, and I'm still not convinced, we need evidence. The Council won't act on visions alone. Then go to Kamino. Inspect the clone embryos. You'll find behavioral modification biochips implanted at stage 3 of development. Ask the Kaminoans what they're for. They'll tell you it's to prevent rogue Jedi. Then ask yourself, who defined what a rogue Jedi is? Who commissioned these chips? Who has the authority to activate them? Separatist commissioned them. Separatist was murdered by Dooku before the chips were finalized. Dooku and Sidious retooled them. The Kaminoans don't know this. They think they're following the original specifications, but the code buried in those chips says different. Obi-Wan stops pacing. How do you know the technical details? Because Vader commanded the 501st for 20 years. I oversaw chip maintenance. I knew what they were for. I watched clones struggle against the programming when it activated. I saw Rex nearly kill Ahsoka because the chip forced him to. Ahsoka gasps. Rex? He would never. Not by choice. That's the point. The chips override free will completely. Turn loyal soldiers into mindless executioners. And when Palpatine gives the order, every Jedi general across the galaxy will die. Silence again. Obi-Wan sits back down. He looks older. Tired. If this is all true, the Republic is already lost. Palpatine has been Supreme Chancellor for 13 years. He controls the Senate, the military, the courts. If we accuse him without proof, he'll destroy us legally. Then we get proof. We verify the chips. We document them. We present evidence to the Senate that Palpatine has placed kill switches in their army's heads. Anakin's voice is cold. He can't. Because I'm going to Kamino. I'm going to hack the cloning network. And I'm going to delete Order 66 from every chip in the Republic. Obi-Wan stares at him. You're talking about sabotaging the Grand Army of the Republic. I'm talking about removing slave control devices from my brothers' heads. The clones didn't ask for those chips. They don't know what they're for, and I refuse to let Palpatine turn 3 million loyal soldiers into weapons against the people they serve. Ahsoka, Master, if you do this, the Council will see it as treason. The Council's opinion stopped mattering when they decided emotional manipulation was acceptable. Anakin stands. I'm going to the Council now. I'm going to tell them everything. About Palpatine. About Order 66. About the chips. And I'm going to resign from the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan's voice cracks. Anakin, no. You can't. I can. And I will. The Jedi have lost their way, Obi-Wan. This deception proves it. When you're willing to lie to your own knights, when you're willing to use grief as a tool, when you value the mission over trust, you've already become what you claim to oppose. He looks at his former master. You can come with me, or stay here. But I'm done serving masters who treat me like a weapon instead of a person. Obi-Wan closes his eyes. I thought I was protecting you. I thought, if the mission succeeded, you'd understand. You'd forgive me. I might have, in the other timeline. But that timeline ended with me choking Padme to death on Mustafar, while you cut off my legs and left me burning in lava. So forgive me if I'm not interested in repeating it. Ahsoka stands. I'm with you, Master. If the Council can lie about this, they can lie about anything. Obi-Wan looks at both of them. His Padawan. No, his former Padawan. And his Grand Padawan. Both ready to walk away from the Order. He remembers Qui-Gon, his master, who questioned the Council constantly, who trusted the living Force over dogma, who would have been horrified by this deception. The Council is making a mistake, Obi-Wan says slowly. I see that now. This deception. It was wrong. I was wrong to agree to it. He stands. I'll go with you to the Council, not as your master, as your brother, and I'll tell them they've lost their way. Anakin nods. Then let's go. They walk through the temple together. Jedi turn to stare. Word has already spread that Obi-Wan is alive. That General Skywalker refused to let the body be moved. That something is very wrong. The council chamber doors open. Yoda and Mace Windu sit in their chairs. The other council members are arriving via holocom. Ki-Adi Mundi, Plo Koon, Shak Ti. Mace's voice is stern. Master Kenobi, you were ordered to maintain your cover. Why are you? Because I ordered him to come here. Because I know about the deception. And because the Jedi Council is about to answer for using emotional manipulation on its own knights. The room goes silent. Yoda's ears droop. Know about the deception you do. How? Because I have Darth Vader's memories. 23 years of serving Palpatine as a Sith Lord. And I remember this moment. I remember the rage. I remember how Palpatine exploited it. And I'm not walking that path again. Mace Windu stands. Anakin, you're not making sense. Vader? Palpatine? What are you? Chancellor Palpatine is Darth Sidious. The Clone Wars is a Sith plot. Order 66 is programmed into the clone's inhibitor chips, and the Jedi Council's arrogance and manipulation is going to get 10,000 Jedi killed unless we act now. Masters present in person and via hologram. Yoda, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi Mundi, Plo Koon, Shak Ti, Saci Tien, Aegon Kolar, Kit Fisto, Coleman Koj, Oppo Rankisis, even Adi Gallia, all staring at Anakin Skywalker, who stands in the center, with Obi-Wan and Ahsoka flanking him. Mace Windu's voice is controlled but hard. Anakin, you're making serious accusations. Chancellor Palpatine, as a Sith Lord. Order 66. Clone chips. These are facts. Anakin's voice cuts through. Not accusations. I'm not speculating. I'm telling you what I know from Vader's memories, from living 23 years in the future, serving Darth Sidious. You keep saying Vader. Explain what you mean. When Obi-Wan staged his death, the grief was so intense it broke something in my mind. Future memories flooded in. Darth Vader's memories. Me. 23 years from now, after I fall to the dark side, become Palpatine's apprentice, help destroy the Jedi Order, and hunt the survivors for 2 decades in a mechanical suit. Shak Ti speaks carefully. Force visions of possible futures are not uncommon, Skywalker, but memories from a future that hasn't happened. These aren't visions. I don't see possibilities. I remember facts. I remember the 501st marching into this temple. I remember leading them. I remember the younglings hiding in the council chamber. I remember igniting my lightsaber. Several council members reach instinctively for their weapons. Anakin doesn't move. I remember Mustafar, Obi-Wan cutting off my legs, the lava burning me, the suit, 23 years of mechanical breathing. I remember hunting Obi-Wan for years. I remember fighting my son on the Death Star. I remember killing Palpatine to save him. I remember dying. His voice is absolutely flat. No emotion. Just recitation. I remember all of it. Every mission. Every kill. Every moment of pain. And I'm telling you, it starts here. With this lie. With the Council deciding that emotional manipulation is acceptable if it serves the mission. Mace Windu stands. Even if we accept that you have some form of future knowledge, which I'm not conceding, that doesn't prove the Chancellor is a Sith Lord, implanted in all clone embryos at Stage 3 of development on Kamino, commissioned by Jedi Master Sifo Dyas as a safeguard against rogue Jedi. After Dooku murdered Sifo Dyas, he and Darth Sidious retooled the chips to contain Order 66. When activated, the chips force clones to view all Jedi as traitors and execute them without question. Plo Koon's breathing quickens behind his mask. That's impossible. The Kaminoans would have told us. The Kaminoans don't know. They think the chips still serve the original purpose. Lama Su and Nala Se believe they're preventing clone instability. They don't know Sidious buried a genocide protocol in the firmware. Yoda closes his eyes, reaches into the Force, looking for deception, for madness, for dark side corruption. What he finds is worse. Truth, cold, terrible truth resonating through Anakin's words. Sense deception, I do not, Yoda says quietly. Believe him, I do. Mace's head snaps toward Yoda. Master, feel it in the Force, I do. Changed young Skywalker is, carries knowledge he should not possess. But lying he is not. ARC Trooper Fives discovered the truth about the chips. Tried to warn you. Commander Fox killed him before he could. Captain Rex filed a report about Fives' claims. You ignored it. Classified it as paranoia induced by a malfunctioning chip. Shock T's hologram flickers. How could you know about Fives' report? That was confidential. I know because I was there when Fives died. I watched him try to explain the conspiracy. He was drugged, terrified, incoherent. We didn't believe him. And that mistake cost us everything. Obi-Wan speaks for the first time. Masters, I've spoken with Anakin privately. His knowledge is extensive. He knows details about the mission I never shared. He knew about the nanotechnology transformation, about Moralo Eval's plot, about things that haven't happened yet. Mace looks at Obi-Wan. You believe him? I believe he has information we need to investigate. And I believe this deception was a mistake. We used Anakin's grief as a tool. We emotionally manipulated him to make the infiltration convincing. That was wrong. Mace's jaw tightens. The mission required us to act exactly like the Sith. Anakin's voice is ice. You lied. You manipulated. You sacrificed trust for tactical advantage, and you did it without hesitation, because you decided the ends justified the means. He steps forward. I'm not angry, Master Windu. I'm disappointed. Because you taught me that Jedi don't use Sith tactics, that we're better than manipulation and lies, but when it mattered, you proved you're not. Kiadi Mundi. Anakin, we understand you're upset. I'm not upset. I'm done. Anakin's voice doesn't rise, doesn't shake, just states fact. You used my grief as a weapon. You staged Obi-Wan's death and watched me suffer because it made your spy game more believable. You were going to let me attend his funeral, let me say goodbye. Let me grieve for weeks while he played prisoner. And the worst part? You don't think you did anything wrong. You think the mission justified it. Just like Palpatine thinks the Empire justifies genocide. Mace. That's not. It is exactly the same. Manipulation is manipulation. Lies are lies. It doesn't matter if you wear Jedi robes or Sith robes when you do it. The damage is identical. A mistake, this deception was. Apologize, the Council must. Master Yoda, we can't simply. Can and must. Yoda's voice is firm. Lost young Skywalker's trust we have. Repair it we must attempt, or lose him to the darkness we will. Anakin laughs. No humor in it. You already lost me, Master Yoda. Not to darkness, to disgust. I'm resigning from the Jedi Order. Effective immediately. The chamber erupts. Council members talking over each other. Mace shouting for order. Anakin waits for silence. When it comes, he continues. I will not serve an order that uses Sith tactics and calls it righteousness. I will not follow masters who value missions over trust. And I will not stand by while Palpatine activates Order 66 and murders 10,000 Jedi because the Council was too proud to admit they were wrong. Mace. Anakin, if you leave the Order, you lose all authority, all resources, all support. I have all the support I need, the 501st. Captain Rex, my brothers who fought beside me for years, who trust me, who I refuse to let Palpatine turn into weapons. What are you planning to do? Go to Kamino, hack the cloning network, delete Order 66 from every chip in the Republic, then come back and help you arrest Palpatine before he realizes what I've done. Shock T's hologram stands. That's sabotage. Treason against the Republic. Treason would be letting those chips stay active, letting Palpatine murder you all with the push of a button. I'm saving lives if you want to arrest me for it afterward. Fine. But I'm not letting my brothers be slaves. Yoda closes his eyes. Go to Kamino, you will, but not alone. Send Jedi with you, the Council will. Verify the chips, document them. Proof we need before act against the Chancellor we can. Anakin shakes his head. No Jedi. Just me, Rex, and volunteers from the 501st. The Council has lost my trust. Until you prove you can lead without lying, I work alone. He turns to leave, stops at the door, looks back. Oh, and Masters? When you investigate Palpatine, be careful. He's not just a politician who dabbles in the dark side. He's the most powerful Sith Lord in 1,000 years. He killed 3 council members in 7 seconds last time. Don't underestimate him. Mace. Last time what? In the future I remember you confronted him with Kit Fisto, Egan Kolar and Ceci Tien. He killed them almost instantly. You nearly defeated him alone. Then I walked in and betrayed you, helped him kill you. Don't make that mistake again. If you face him, bring overwhelming force, and don't trust me to be there. He walks out. Ashoka follows immediately. Obi-Wan hesitates, looks at the council. He's right about the deception. We were wrong. I was wrong. I'm going with him. Mace, Obi-Wan, if you leave, then I leave. Anakin is my brother, and I've already betrayed him once. I won't do it again. He follows Anakin out of the chamber. The council sits in stunned silence. Finally, Yoda speaks. Failed we have. Lost his trust completely. And right, he may be. About everything. Jedi Temple steps, main entrance, public courtyard where thousands of citizens pass daily. Anakin Skywalker stands at the top of the steps. The 501st Legion is assembled below. 500 clone troopers in formation, their blue-marked armor gleaming in the Coruscant sun. Captain Rex stands at attention in front. Anakin descends the steps, stops in front of Rex. Captain, I need to speak with the men. Rex doesn't hesitate. Men, attention. The 501st snaps to perfect formation. Anakin walks along the front rank, looking at each trooper, seeing men, not weapons, brothers, not tools. In Vader's memories, he sees them differently, sees them executing Order 66, sees CT 7567, Rex nearly killing Ahsoka on a shuttle over a moon, sees the 501st marching into the temple, sees them follow him to Mustafar. Not this time, brothers, Anakin begins. His voice carries across the courtyard. I'm resigning from the Jedi Order. Effective immediately, I will no longer serve as a Jedi General. Murmurs ripple through the ranks. Confusion, concern. But I'm not abandoning you. I'm doing this to save you. He pauses, lets that sink in. Every one of you has a behavioral modification biochip implanted in your brain. You were told it prevents aggression, keeps you stable. That's a lie. The murmurs stop. Now there's silence. Absolute attention. The chip contains a protocol, Order 66. When the Chancellor activates it, you will be forced, against your will, against your training, against everything you believe, to execute your Jedi commanders. You won't be able to stop yourselves. The chip will override your free will completely. He sees shock on the faces he can see through helmet visors, horror on those who've removed them. Rex's voice is tight. Sir, are you saying? I'm saying Fives was right. He discovered the truth, tried to warn us, and he was killed for it before he could. Rex's hands clench. Every trooper who served with Fives feels the same rage. The Chancellor placed weapons in your heads, turned you into time bombs waiting to go off. And when he's ready, he'll use you to commit genocide against the Jedi Order. He looks at each man. I'm going to Kamino. I'm going to hack the cloning network. And I'm going to delete Order 66 from every chip in the Republic. I'm going to set you free. Silence. Heavy. Charged. If you trust me, follow me to Kamino. If you don't, stay here. But know this, I will not lead you as a Jedi General. I will lead you as a brother, because that's what you are. Not weapons, not slaves, brothers. Rex removes his helmet. His face is set, determined. Sir, Fives tried to warn us about the chips. I didn't believe him. I should have, but I believe you. He turns to the Legion. Any man who wants to stay with the Jedi, fall out now. No judgment. This is your choice. No one moves. Rex turns back to Anakin. The 501st is with you, sir. All of us. One by one, troopers remove their helmets, showing their faces, showing their men, not just armor. Anakin feels something break inside him. Not in a bad way, in a way that lets light in. Then we leave for Kamino immediately. Pack light. Combat loadout. This is a stealth insertion, not an invasion. Master, I'm coming too. Ahsoka, you don't have to. Yes, I do. You taught me to question orders that don't make sense. The Council's deception didn't make sense. I'm with you. Obi-Wan joins them. As am I, though I suspect I'll be expelled from the Order for this. Anakin looks at his former master. You sure about this? No. But I'm sure about you. And I'm sure the Council was wrong. That's enough. Rex. Sir, we'll need transport. The Resolute is in orbit, but we're not taking the Resolute. Too visible. We need something small. Fast. Unmarked. Anakin thinks. Padme has contacts in the Senate. Ships we can borrow without raising flags. Ahsoka, you're going to involve Senator Amidala. She deserves to know. In the other timeline, Palpatine used her to manipulate me. Used my fear of losing her as a weapon. This time, she gets the truth. All of it. He pulls out his comlink. Padme, it's Anakin. I need to see you. Immediately. And I need access to a ship that can't be traced to the Senate or the Jedi. Padme's voice comes through. Concerned. Anakin, what's wrong? Everything. I'll explain when I see you. Can you meet me at your apartment in 1 hour? Of course. I'll be there. The comlink clicks off. Anakin turns to Rex. Get the men ready. We leave in 2 hours. Minimum crew, 50 troopers. Volunteers only. This is going to be dangerous. Rex salutes. Not the standard military salute. A fist over his heart. Personal. For 5, sir. For 5s. And for every brother who deserves to be free. The 501st disperses. Moving with purpose, Anakin stands with Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. Obi-Wan, you realize this is the point of no return. Once you hack those chips, the Council can't ignore it. Palpatine can't ignore it. Everything changes the moment the Council decided lying to me was acceptable. They lost the moral high ground. Now I'm just doing what needs to be done. And if the chips can't be deleted remotely? If you have to physically remove them from every clone? Then I start with the 501st, with Rex, with the brothers closest to Jedi, and I work my way out from there. 1 chip at a time if necessary. Ahsoka. That could take years. Better than the alternative. Better than watching every clone in the Republic murder their generals in a single coordinated strike. He looks at the temple. The massive structure that's been the center of the Jedi Order for 1,000 years. In Vader's memories, he sees it burning, sees smoke rising from the towers, sees clones marching through halls where younglings used to train. I'm not letting that happen, he says quietly. Not to the temple, not to the Order, not to the galaxy. Palpatine's plan ends at Kamino. Kamino. Water planet. Endless ocean. Towering cloning facilities rising from the waves. Tipoca City. The main facility. Where every clone in the Grand Army was created. Where the chips are implanted. Where the infrastructure exists to modify them all. A small transport ship, unmarked, borrowed from one of Padme's Senate allies, descends through the rain toward a maintenance hangar. Inside the ship, Anakin briefs the team. 50 clone troopers from the 501st, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Rex. The Kaminoans don't know we're coming. As far as they're concerned, this is a routine inspection. We're here to verify clone combat readiness. Standard procedure. Rex. And when we access the chip programming facility, we tell them the truth. The chips have been compromised. We're implementing a security patch. If they resist, we go loud. But I'd prefer to avoid that. Obi-Wan, the Kaminoans are proud of their work. If you tell them their chips contain a genocide protocol, they'll be horrified. Good. That horror is what we need. Lama Su and Nala Se think they're creating soldiers, not slaves. When they realize what Sidious did to their design, they'll help us fix it. The ship lands. Smooth. Professional. They exit into the hangar. Rain pounds against the transparent steel dome overhead. The sound is deafening. Taun Wei, a Kaminoan administrator, approaches. Tall. Graceful. Confused. General Skywalker, we were not informed of your arrival. We've received intelligence suggesting the clone chips may have been compromised. I need immediate access to the programming facility. Compromised? That's impossible. Your security is excellent. The compromise came from within. From the original specifications. I need to verify the chip code personally. Prime Minister Lama Su should authorize this. Then let's go see him. Now. the clinical perfection of a facility designed to mass-produce life. Anakin sees clone embryos in growth chambers. Thousands of them, each with a chip already implanted. In Vader's memories, he knows what those chips will do. Sees Order 66 activated across the galaxy. Sees Jedi falling by the thousands. Not this time. They reach Lama Su's office. The Prime Minister is reviewing production reports when they enter. General Skywalker, this is unexpected. Anakin doesn't waste time. Prime Minister, your behavioral modification chips contain a hidden protocol. Order 66. It forces clones to execute Jedi commanders. It was programmed by Darth Sidious after Count Dooku murdered Sidious. Lama Su's expression doesn't change much. Kaminoans have limited facial expressions, but his body language shifts. Tension. Concern. That's a serious accusation, General. It's a fact. I have evidence. Testimony from ARC Trooper 5s who discovered the protocol before he was killed. Confidential reports from Captain Rex, and my own knowledge from sources I can't disclose. Lama Su stands, walks to a terminal. If what you say is true, the chip code would show evidence of modification after the original Sifo-Dyas specifications. It does. Check the firmware revision history. You'll find unauthorized changes made 13 years ago, right after Sifo-Dyas died. Lama Su's fingers work the terminal, pulling up chip specifications, programming history, firmware logs. He stops, stares at the screen. There are modifications here, extensive modifications, made by, he looks up, the authorization codes are Jedi. But they were implemented after Master Sifo-Dyas' death, because someone else used his codes, someone with Jedi knowledge and Sith intent. Nala Se, the chief medical scientist, enters the office. Prime Minister, I was informed of General Skywalker's arrival. What's happening? Lama Su, the chips have been compromised. Our design was altered, without our knowledge. That's impossible. I personally oversee every chip implantation. The changes were made at the firmware level. You wouldn't have known unless you examined the code directly, which you had no reason to do, because you trusted the Jedi authorization. Anakin steps forward. I need access to the central programming facility. I need to upload a patch that deletes the Order 66 protocol from all active chips. Nala Se, delete it. That would require rewriting core firmware in 3 million chips. The processing load alone. Can your systems handle it? Theoretically, but if the deletion is interrupted, it could brick the chips entirely. Leave the clones unstable. They're already unstable. They're walking time bombs waiting to kill their friends. I'll take the risk. Lama Su considers. If we allow this, and it fails, you'll have destroyed our entire product line. If you don't allow it, and Palpatine activates Order 66, you'll have enabled genocide. Your choice. Silence. Lama Su nods slowly. Show me your patch code. If it's sound, I'll authorize the upload. Anakin pulls out a datapad. Vader's memories translated into code. 20 years of maintaining clone technology compressed into a virus that targets one specific protocol. He hands it to Lama Su. The Prime Minister reviews it, line by line, checking for errors, for hidden functions, for anything that could damage the clones. Finally, this code is remarkably precise. Where did you learn clone chip programming at this level? I had a very thorough education. Do we have authorization? Lama Su looks at Nala Se. She nods. You have authorization, but I'm monitoring the entire process. If anything goes wrong, I know. You'll shut it down and arrest me. Understood. They move to the central programming facility, a massive chamber filled with servers. Processing power for 3 million chips across the galaxy. Anakin connects his datapad, begins the upload. The virus spreads through the network, targeting Order 66 specifically, not touching any other chip functions, just finding that one protocol and deleting it, replacing it with null code. Progress bar appears, 1%, 2%. Rex stands beside Anakin. Sir, if this works, when this works, you'll be free. All of you. The chips will still stabilize your aggression, but they won't control you. Won't force you to kill on command. 5%. 10%. Obi-Wan, how long? 47 minutes for full propagation. The code has to reach every chip in the Republic. Some are on ships in deep space, some are in combat zones with limited network access, but it'll get to all of them. 15%, 20%. Nala Se watches her monitors. The chips are accepting the patch. No degradation in core functions. This is actually working. 30%. Ahsoka, Master, what if Palpatine finds out what you're doing? He will. Eventually. That's why we need to move fast. Delete the chips. Get back to Coruscant. Help the Council arrest him before he realizes his weapon is gone. 50%. 60%. Anakin feels the Force, reaches out across the galaxy, touches the network of life that connects all clones, feels the chips changing, the slave code dying. In his memories, he sees Rex trying to kill Ahsoka, sees the 501st marching into the temple, sees clone commanders across the galaxy gunning down their Jedi generals. 70%. 80%. Not this time. This time, his brothers stay free. 90%. 95%. Lama Su. Approaching completion. All chips responding normally. No failures detected. 100%. The terminal chimes. Upload complete. Virus propagated to all active chips. Order 66 deleted from 3 million clones simultaneously. Anakin exhales. He didn't realize he was holding his breath. Rex removes his helmet. His eyes are wet. Sir, I can feel it. Something that was always there. Just background noise. It's gone. Other troopers nod. Confirming. The weight lifted. Anakin. That was the slave code. You're free now. The chip can't control you anymore. He turns to Lama Su. Thank you. For trusting me. Lama Su. Thank you for preventing our work from being used for genocide. We create soldiers, not slaves, not weapons. We pride ourselves on that distinction. Anakin nods. Then help me make sure it stays that way. Document what we did here. Keep backups of the patch. If Palpatine tries to restore Order 66, I need you to resist. We will. You have our word. Anakin pulls out his comlink, opens a secure channel to the Jedi Temple. Council, this is Skywalker. Order 66 is disabled, deleted from all clone chips. Palpatine's weapon is neutralized. He doesn't know yet, but he will soon. You need to arrest him before he realizes what happened. I'm returning to Coruscant now. Anakin, what you've done, the Council will need to discuss. Discuss later. Act now. Palpatine is the most dangerous enemy you've ever faced. Don't give him time to prepare. Strike while he's vulnerable. Act now we must. May the Force be with you, young Skywalker. And with you, Masters. The comlink clicks off. Anakin looks at his team. Time to go home. Time to finish this. Coruscant. Festival of Light. Naboo cultural celebration held annually in the Senate District. Streets filled with performers, musicians, dancers. Thousands of citizens celebrating peace, art, beauty. The kind of event that makes people forget there's a war happening across the galaxy. Chancellor Palpatine walks through the crowd, surrounded by guards, smiling, waving, playing the role of benevolent leader who loves his people. He doesn't know Order 66 is dead, doesn't know Anakin deleted it from Kamino, doesn't know his perfect weapon just became worthless. But he's about to find out. Anakin watches from a rooftop 3 blocks away, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka beside him. The 501st positioned throughout the district, not in clone armor, civilian clothes. Blending in, Anakin has Vader's memories. Knows every detail of Moralo Eval's plan, the kidnapping plot Obi-Wan was supposed to infiltrate by faking his death, box competition on Sereno, bounty hunters competing for the right to kidnap Palpatine, Moralo Eval, Cad Bane, Duraun, Yakoli Twazi, the best killers in the galaxy. Evil's plan: kidnap Palpatine during the festival, take him to an undisclosed location, hold him hostage, demand concessions from the Senate, except it's all theater. Palpatine orchestrated the plot himself, created the threat so he could survive it publicly, gain sympathy, strengthen his emergency powers. In the original timeline, Obi-Wan infiltrated the network as Rocco Hardin, stopped the kidnapping. Palpatine survived, played the victim, won. This time Anakin has different plans. They're moving into position, Ahsoka says. She's watching through macro binoculars. East side, 4 shooters on the rooftops. Evol's team. Obi-Wan, we should warn Palpatine's guards. No. Anakin's voice is flat. We let it happen. Obi-Wan stares at him. What? We let them take him, isolate him from his guards, get him alone. Then we move in. Anakin, that's insane. If they kill him, they won't. Evol needs him alive for the ransom, and Palpatine needs the kidnapping to succeed so he can survive it publicly. They're working together even if Evol doesn't know it. Ahsoka, Master, if we let the Chancellor get kidnapped, the Senate will panic. Good. Let them see how vulnerable Palpatine really is. Let them question whether emergency powers actually keep them safe. The Chancellor is moving toward the Central Plaza, right on schedule. Besides, I need him isolated, away from guards, away from witnesses, somewhere I can confront him without Republic security interfering. Obi-Wan, you're using him as bait. He used himself as bait. I'm just not stopping it this time. Below, Moralo Eval's team strikes. Sniper fire from 4 positions. Not at Palpatine. At his guards. Stun bolts. Professional. Coordinated. The guards drop. Palpatine stumbles, playing shocked, frightened. Citizens scream. Scatter. A speeder swoops down. Cad Bane at the controls. Evol in the passenger seat. They grab Palpatine. Haul him into the speeder. Gone before Senate security can respond. Chaos in the plaza. Guards shouting. Citizens running. Sirens wailing. Anakin stands. Let's go. Track that speeder. Stay back. Don't let them see us. They move across rooftops, following the speeder. Anakin uses the Force to track Palpatine's presence. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka keep pace. The speeder heads to the industrial district. Abandoned warehouses, perfect place for a hostage situation. It lands. Evol and Bane drag Palpatine inside a building. Large. Reinforced. Designed for cargo storage. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka approach from above. Landing on the roof. Silent. Anakin. Rex. We're in position. Lock down the perimeter. No one in or out except us. Rex's voice through the comlink. Copy that, sir. Building is surrounded. We're ready. Anakin cuts a hole in the roof with his lightsaber. Quiet. Precise. They drop inside. The warehouse is mostly empty. Crates stacked along the walls. Open floor in the center. Palpatine is tied to a chair. Moralo Evol stands over him. Cad Bane is checking equipment. The other bounty hunters are securing exits. Anakin, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka stay in the shadows. Watching. Waiting. Eval, Chancellor Palpatine. You're probably wondering why we've brought you here. Palpatine's voice is shaky. Afraid. Perfect acting. Please, I'll give you whatever you want. Credits. Pardons. Just don't hurt me. We don't want credits. We want the Republic to end this war. Withdraw from Separatist space. Let the Outer Rim govern itself. Palpatine, I can't just. You can. And you will. Or we'll broadcast your execution across the galaxy. Palpatine's eyes flicker. For just a moment, annoyance crosses his face. Then, fear again. Anakin sees it, the mask slipping, just for a second. He steps out of the shadows. Lightsaber ignites. Blue blade humming. Actually, you won't. Every bounty hunter spins. Weapons up. Cad Bane. Jedi. I should have known. Eval. Kill them. Blaster fire erupts. Anakin deflects. Every bolt. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka ignite their sabers. Join the fight. The bounty hunters are good. Professional. But they're facing 3 Jedi with the element of surprise. 30 seconds. That's how long it takes. D-Roan is stunned by a reflected bolt. Jacoli's blaster is force-crushed. Twazi is knocked unconscious by Ahsoka's hilt strike. Cad Bane tries his jetpack. Anakin grips him with the Force. Slams him into the floor. Hard. Moralo Evol runs for the exit. Obi-Wan is faster. Blade at his throat. Don't. They drop. Now it's just the 3 Jedi and Palpatine. The Chancellor is still tied to the chair, still playing the victim. Oh, thank the Force. Anakin, you saved me. Anakin raises his hand. The door slams shut. Locks engage. No, Chancellor. I've trapped you. Palpatine's face shifts. Confusion. What? Anakin. I don't. Drop the act, Sidious. Silence. Palpatine's expression changes. The fear vanishes. The confusion evaporates. What's left is cold calculation. Impressive. But how could you possibly? Because I've already lived this. I've already become Darth Vader. I've already served you for 20 years, and I remember all of it. The warehouse. Locked down. Isolated. Just Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Palpatine. Palpatine sits in the chair, still tied, but his body language is different now. Not frightened, relaxed, almost amused. Future memories. Fascinating. A force phenomenon I've never encountered. Anakin circles him. Lightsaber still ignited. I know who you are, Sidious. I know about the Clone Wars. I know about the Empire. I know you've been grooming me to be your apprentice since I was 9 years old. Palpatine smiles. Not the grandfatherly smile. Something colder. And yet, knowing all of this, you still can't change it. The Jedi will still fall. The Republic will still crumble. Because the galaxy wants an empire. It needs order. The galaxy wants peace. You're giving it war. I'm giving it purpose. Direction. The Republic is a bureaucratic nightmare. Corrupt. Inefficient. Paralyzed by endless debate. The Empire will bring stability. Through tyranny. Through fear. Through the murder of 10,000 Jedi. Palpatine looks at him. The Jedi serve themselves. You claim to serve the Republic, but you answer to no one. You take children from their families. You impose your philosophy through force. You are no different from me. You simply lack the honesty to admit it. Ahsoka, we protect people. You control them. You decide what's right, what's wrong, who lives, who dies. The only difference between Jedi and Sith is branding. Anakin, is that why you orchestrated this entire war? Killed millions? Destroyed planets? For better branding? I orchestrated this war to expose the Jedi's hypocrisy, to prove that when threatened you resort to the same tactics as the Sith, armies, warfare, manipulation, lies. He looks directly at Anakin. They faked Obi-Wan's death, used your grief as a weapon, emotionally manipulated you, exactly as I would have done. Because when survival is at stake, principles become negotiable. Anakin doesn't flinch. You're right. The Council used Sith tactics, and I called them on it. Resigned from the Order. That's the difference between me and you. I hold everyone to the same standard. You just want to be the one in control. Palpatine's smile widens. And yet, here you are, holding a lightsaber to an unarmed, tied-up politician, planning to kill me without trial, without evidence, without due process. How very Sith of you. I have evidence. Order 66. Programmed into the clone chips, proof that you placed genocide protocols in the Grand Army's heads. Had. Past tense. You deleted it from Kamino. Very clever. Though you realize that's treason, yes? Sabotaging the Republic's military is a capital offense. Anakin's eyes narrow. You know about Kamino already? I know everything, Anakin. I have spies in every corner of the Republic, including the Jedi Temple. The moment you accessed those chips, I was informed. Your plan failed. One weapon, I have others. Contingencies. Backups. Did you really think I'd stake everything on a single protocol? Palpatine leans forward. The ropes holding him creak. Even now, you're playing my game. You think capturing me solves anything. The Senate won't believe you. They'll see a Jedi coup. An attempted assassination of a democratically elected leader. The Jedi Council is investigating you right now. They'll find proof. They'll find what I allow them to find. And when they confront me, I'll destroy them. Just as I did in your future. You remember that, don't you, Anakin? You remember walking into my office while Mace Windu had me at lightsaber point. You remember saving me. Betraying him. Anakin's jaw tightens. I remember. And that's why I'm not giving you the chance. He reaches out with the Force. The ropes binding Palpatine snap. Fall away. Palpatine stands. Stretches. Finally. Those were quite uncomfortable. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka raise their lightsabers. Palpatine looks at all three of them. You're really going to do this? Execute me without trial? That will make you murderers. Traitors. Everything the Jedi claim not to be. Anakin, you've already been tried. In my memories, 23 years of evidence. Genocide, slavery, planetary destruction. I know what you are, what you'll do if I let you live. And if you kill me here, you prove I was right, that Jedi are no different from Sith. That power, not principle, is what matters. I don't care what it proves. I care about stopping you. Palpatine's smile disappears. His face goes cold, empty. Then let me show you why that's impossible. He moves. Faster than thought. Faster than human. Force-enhanced speed that makes him a blur. Red lightsaber ignites from his sleeve. Hidden weapon. He's not aiming for Anakin. He's aiming for Ahsoka. The strike comes in a downward arc, meant to bisect her. Kill her instantly. Anakin is faster. He throws himself between them. Blue blade meeting red. The clash sends sparks flying. Palpatine's eyes burn yellow. The mask is gone completely. This is Darth Sidious, Sith Lord. Unrestrained. Good. Very good. You remember how Vader fought. Use that knowledge. Show me what you learned serving me. Anakin doesn't respond, just fights. Form V. Gem So. Vader's style. Heavy, aggressive, overwhelming power. But he's not fighting with rage, not surrendering to the dark side. Just using technique, knowledge, experience. Obi-Wan attacks from the left. Soresu. Perfect defense waiting for openings. Ahsoka flanks right. Jar Kai. Dual blades, speed and precision. 3 Jedi, coordinated, synchronized. Sidious laughs. Yes, this is what I wanted. This is the power you could wield as my apprentice. He spins, attacking all 3 simultaneously. His blade moves in patterns that shouldn't be possible. Form 7. Juyo, pure aggression channeled through perfect technique. Lightning erupts from his free hand, scattering across the warehouse. Ahsoka dodges. Obi-Wan deflects. Anakin absorbs it with his blade. Sidious, join me, Anakin. With your knowledge of the future and my mastery of the dark side, we could rule more perfectly than ever. We could prevent the Empire's mistakes. We could save Padme. Anakin's response is a 2-handed overhead strike. Full force. All his strength. Sidious blocks, but the impact drives him back 3 steps. I've already tried saving Padme by becoming your apprentice. She died anyway, because of choices I made. This time, I'm saving her by destroying you. The warehouse becomes a battlefield. Sidious is everything Vader's memories said he would be. Terrifying, powerful, ruthless. He targets Ahsoka with force lightning, trying to kill the weakest first. Anakin intercepts. Blade absorbing the energy, channeling it into the ground. Obi-Wan strikes at Sidious's back. The Sith Lord senses it without looking. Spins, parries, counterattacks with a kick that sends Obi-Wan flying into a stack of crates. Ahsoka attacks while he's distracted, both blades coming from different angles. Sidious blocks one, catches the other with the force, tears it from her grip, flings it across the warehouse. Now she has 1 blade. Vulnerable, Sidious moves to kill her. Anakin is there, blade between them. You want her? Go through me. Sidious grins, with pleasure. Their blades lock, face to face, yellow eyes meeting blue. You can't win, boy. Even with Vader's knowledge, even with your friends. I am the dark side. I am inevitable. Anakin's voice is calm, cold. Vader thought the same thing, right up until Luke threw you down that reactor shaft. He breaks the lock, strikes from a new angle. Not Form V anymore. Form IV. Ataru, Qui-Gon's style. Acrobatic, unpredictable. Sidious adjusts, but the change throws him off rhythm, just for a moment. Obi-Wan is back, attacking with renewed fury. His master Qui-Gon's death was Sidious's doing. Maul was just the weapon. This is revenge decades in the making. Ahsoka retrieves her 2nd blade, rejoins the fight. Now it's 3-on-1 again. Sidious unleashes full power. Lightning from both hands, not targeted. Just raw dark side energy flooding the space. The Jedi scatter, can't deflect this much. Too much output. Sidious levitates, rises 10 feet off the ground. Lightning crackling around him like a storm. You see? This is the power you rejected. This is what you could have been. Anakin reaches into Vader's memories. Remembers fighting Luke on the Death Star, remembers the lightning burning through his suit, remembers the pain, and remembers what happened next. Remembers lifting Palpatine, throwing him down. He reaches out with the Force, not at Sidious, at the warehouse structure. Support beams, load-bearing, vital. He crushes them. The building groans, starts to collapse. Sidious's concentration breaks. The lightning stops. He drops to the ground. Anakin doesn't give him time to recover. Strikes with everything. Gem-so. Ataru. Even some Makashi, Dooku style, precision strikes at joints, tendons, weak points. Obi-Wan targets Sidious's saber hand, trying to disarm. Ahsoka goes for his legs, trying to destabilize. Sidious is defending now, not attacking, pushed back step by step. His voice snarls, "Impossible. You're just a boy. I'm the chosen one, and I remember everything." Obi-Wan's blade catches Sidious's wrist, not cutting through, but burning. Painful. Sidious's grip on his lightsaber weakens. Just slightly. Ahsoka sweeps his legs. He stumbles. Anakin strikes, not at Sidious, at his lightsaber. Full power. Shearing strike, the red blade flies from Sidious's hand, clatters across the floor. Disarmed. Sidious backs away. Hands up. Lightning crackling between his fingers. "You've won nothing. Kill me and you'll prove I was right. That Jedi are just Sith who lie about it." Anakin steps forward, blade at Sidious's throat. "You're wrong. The difference between Jedi and Sith isn't the tactics. It's the reason. Sith kill for power, for control, for domination." He looks at Obi-Wan, at Ahsoka, at his family. "I'm killing you to protect them, to protect the galaxy, not because I want power, because you're too dangerous to live." Genuinely amused. And that's exactly what I would say. The rationalizations are identical. The results are the same. No, the results are different. Because after I kill you, I'm not taking your place. I'm not becoming emperor. I'm going home. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka raise their blades. 3 lightsabers, 3 Jedi, 1 Sith Lord. "Sidious, you cannot defeat me without the dark side. You'll need to hate me, to rage, to surrender to your anger." Anakin's voice is absolutely level. "I don't hate you. I pity you. Because in 23 years as Vader, I learned something you never did. Power without love is just emptiness." Sidious's eyes widen. "You're not even." 3 blades strike simultaneously. Blue, blue, green, through the heart, through the throat, through the skull. Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith, dies. Not thrown from a window. Not killed in a dramatic last-second redemption. Just executed. Methodically. Necessarily. His body hits the floor. The yellow fades from his eyes. The dark side presence that's clouded the Force for decades shatters like glass. Every Jedi in the temple feels it. A weight lifting. A fog clearing. Anakin deactivates his lightsaber, stands over the body, feels nothing. No triumph. No regret. Just certainty that it had to be done. Obi-Wan, it's over. Ahsoka, is it the Senate, the war, everything he built? It ends with him. Anakin turns away from the corpse. The Separatists lose their Sith leadership. The war was always orchestrated. Without Sidious pulling strings, it'll collapse. Dooku will either surrender or die. Either way, peace. He pulls out his comlink. "Rex, secure the building. We have Palpatine's body and evidence of his Sith identity." "Rex, copy, sir. Senate security is en route. They're going to want answers." "They'll get them. Tell them Chancellor Palpatine was Darth Sidious. Tell them he orchestrated the Clone Wars. Tell them we have proof. Order 66. The chips. Everything. And if they don't believe us, they will. Because the Force just cleared. Every Jedi in the galaxy felt it. The dark side presence that's been clouding their senses for decades is gone. They'll know something fundamental changed." He looks at Obi-Wan. "Contact the Council. Tell them it's done." Obi-Wan activates his comlink. "Masters, Palpatine is dead. He was Darth Sidious. We have his body. The threat is ended." Mace Windu's voice comes through. "Shocked. You killed the Chancellor. We executed a Sith Lord." There's a difference. 6 months later, Naboo, Lake Country. Anakin stands on a balcony overlooking water. Behind him, a building. New, recently constructed. A training academy. Not Jedi. Not Sith. Something different. The aftermath of Palpatine's death was chaos. The Senate fractured. Some called the Jedi traitors. Others called them heroes. Emergency elections. New leadership. Bail Organa became chancellor. Mon Mothma led the investigation into Palpatine's crimes. The evidence was overwhelming. Order 66 chips. Financial records showing both sides of the war funded by the same sources. Communications between Palpatine and Dooku. All of it documented. All of it undeniable. The Jedi Order survived, but changed. Mace Windu stepped down from the council, admitted the deception was wrong, begged Anakin to return. Anakin refused, but offered an alternative. A new school, training Force users without Jedi dogma or Sith corruption. Balance between attachment and detachment. Between passion and peace. The council agreed, reluctantly, but they agreed. Obi-Wan joined him, left the order officially, not in anger, in evolution. Ahsoka too. She never went back after the deception. Now they teach together. 20 students, young Force sensitives from across the galaxy, learning to use their abilities without surrendering to either extreme. Padme walks onto the balcony. She's been living here for 3 months, working remotely with the Senate while spending time with Anakin. They're married now, openly. The Republic knows. Doesn't care. Senator marrying a war hero is acceptable. Romantic, even. She's not pregnant. Not yet. But someday, when they're ready. The first class is starting, she says. Anakin turns. I'll be right there. She kisses his cheek. Goes back inside. Obi-Wan joins him on the balcony. Do you still remember? Vader's future? Every day. But it gets quieter. More distant. This future is so different that the memories don't fit anymore. Do you regret it? Killing Palpatine without trial? Anakin considers. No. He was too dangerous. Too manipulative. A trial would have been theater. He'd have twisted it. Escaped. Caused more damage. Sometimes, the moral choice isn't the legal one. The council would disagree. The council uses manipulation when convenient. I don't trust their moral authority anymore. Obi-Wan looks at the lake. I'm sorry. For the deception. For agreeing to it. For thinking the mission justified the lie. And I forgive you. But I'll never forget. Trust, once broken, never fully heals. It just adapts. They stand in silence. Brothers, not master and apprentice anymore. Partners. Obi-Wan, what are you going to teach them? The students. How to love without possessing. How to fight without hating. How to use power without being corrupted by it. Everything the Jedi and Sith got wrong. Think it'll work? I don't know, but it's worth trying. Because the alternative, the cycle of Jedi versus Sith, light versus dark, order versus chaos, that only ends in destruction. Ahsoka appears in the doorway. Master. The students are ready. Anakin smiles. I'm not your master anymore, Ahsoka. I'm your partner. She grins. Old habits? Come on. Let's go teach them how to be better than we were. They walk inside together. Obi-Wan follows. The classroom is simple. Open space, floor cushions, windows overlooking the lake. 20 students sit in a circle. Humans. Twi'leks, Rhodians, Zabrak, all ages, all backgrounds. Anakin sits with them. Not above them. Among them. Today we're going to talk about attachment, he begins. The Jedi say attachment leads to the dark side. That you must let go of everything you love. The Sith say attachment is power. That you should dominate what you love. Both are wrong. Attachment becomes dangerous when it turns into possession. When you love someone so much you'd rather destroy them than let them go. That's when it leads to darkness. But attachment itself, caring for others, having people you'd protect, bonds that anchor you, that's not weakness. That's strength. A young Twi'lek girl raises her hand. How do you know when you've crossed the line? By asking yourself, am I doing this for them or for me? If you'd let someone walk away because that's what they need, even if it hurts, that's healthy attachment. If you'd cage them, control them, hurt them to keep them, that's possession. That's the path to darkness. He thinks of Padme. In Vader's memories, he choked her on Mustafar, couldn't let her reject him. Couldn't accept her choosing Obi-Wan over him. Here, now, he lets her be her own person, supports her Senate work, doesn't demand she abandon her life for his. That's the difference. The Jedi and Sith both failed because they went to extremes, he continues. The Jedi said no attachments. The Sith said dominate everything. The truth is in the middle. Love fiercely. But respect the freedom of those you love. Fight for what matters, but don't lose yourself to rage. Use power, but don't let it define you. The students listen. Some nod. Some look confused. Some are skeptical. That's okay. This is new. Revolutionary. It'll take time. Obi-Wan speaks from the back of the room. The old ways failed. The Jedi Order became rigid. The Sith became destructive. Maybe it's time for something new. Ashoka adds, we're not claiming to have all the answers. We're figuring this out together, learning as we go, making mistakes and adapting. That's what balance means. The lesson continues. 2 hours. Discussion. Meditation. Practice. When it ends, the students file out, excited, thoughtful, changed. Anakin stands on the balcony again, watching the sunset over Naboo's lakes. Padme joins him, takes his hand. Do you think it'll last? This new path? I don't know. But it's better than what came before. Better than rigid dogma. Better than destructive chaos. Better than the cycle that created Vader. Do the memories still hurt? Sometimes, when I remember the worst parts. The temple, Mustafar, the suit, but mostly they're just lessons, reminders of what not to do. She leans against him. I'm proud of you for choosing this, for building something new instead of just tearing down the old. I had help. You, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Rex, everyone who believed in me when I walked away from the Order. The stars come out, one by one. Familiar constellations. Same sky Vader looked at for 23 years, but different view, different context. In the other timeline, Anakin says quietly, I died on the Death Star, redeemed at the last moment, saved Luke, but I spent decades doing terrible things first. This time, I get to skip all that, get to be the person I should have been from the start. What changed? The Council lied to me, and instead of suppressing my anger, I used it, channeled it into action, changed the system instead of letting it change me. He looks at her. You know what the real difference is between Vader and me. What? Vader lost everyone he loved? I still have mine. She kisses him, long, soft, full of promise. When they break apart, Obi-Wan is standing in the doorway, smiling. Dinner's ready, and Rex combed. The 501st wants to visit next week. Check on the academy. Anakin grins. Tell them they're welcome. Always. Family, not by blood, by choice. The Jedi Order continues on Coruscant. Smaller, reformed, learning from mistakes. The Sith are gone. Sidious dead. Dooku surrendered. Tried. Imprisoned. The Clone Wars ended. Peace negotiations successful. Separatist worlds rejoining the Republic under new terms. The clones received full citizenship. Rights. Freedom. No longer slaves. No longer weapons. And on Naboo, in a school by the lake, a new generation learns balance. Anakin Skywalker never becomes Darth Vader. Instead, he becomes something better. A teacher. A husband. A friend. A man who remembered a terrible future and chose to build a better one. Let me know what you'd like to see next. The end.